Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the Home Weather Office on this Monday morning. It's now the third day of March 2025, and this is the morning briefing coming to you from the Home Weather Office. And as I look out the window of the Home Weather Office, it's a clear, bright, but chilly morning. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s on the valley floor and in generally the low to mid 30s in the foothills, but it is a bright and sunny day, and with a higher sun angle, it is going to be a nice afternoon. However, with the mild weather we had last week, with those temperatures in the 70s, there's no sign of that coming back anytime soon. So, last week I was calling that fake spring, and this week you'll know why. Because it's not only chilly today, but it's going to get colder later on this week. We have more rain and snow coming our way, and there's a chance we could see some of the lowest snow we've seen so far this year. Those of you that live around 3,500 to 4,000 feet, so far we haven't seen any snow, or if we have, it's been very, very light. That could change, especially on Wednesday night, so more on that in just a minute. I thought I'd start this morning with a view from the way it looks in the Sierra. This is at Sierra at Tahoe, and actually let me do a little time lapse on this. That covers the last hour as I'm recording this a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, so this covers from, let's say, 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Clouds clearing. This is looking north from Sierra at Tahoe, so Lake Tahoe would be right over here. And as you can see, the clouds are clearing in the Sierra. It's a good-looking day. Sierra at Tahoe reporting a storm total of about 6 inches. That seems to be about the median of what a lot of the resorts in the area reported. Some areas a little less, some areas a little bit more. This is, by the way, is from Alert Wildfire. These are great cameras, of course, and they help out during fire season. But at this time of year, they're also pretty cameras. So let's take a look at Heavenly, because this one looks out over the lake, and do a time lapse over the last hour as well. And as you can see, we can see down onto the lake. You can see the fresh snow clinging to the trees, and that low cloud cover just kind of hanging over the lake right now. But you'll also notice the clouds are coming down from the north. So it's that motion from the north right now that we have that's helping to clear out the foothills and the valley floor and keeping us mainly clear. So that's how it looks. Let me see how we did for that the weekend rain. Boy, yesterday was kind of fun, wasn't it? Didn't hear any thunder here in the Home Weather Office, but did have some nice hail around 1:30 yesterday. It was enough to cover the road. It was quite nice. But if you'll notice that in areas like Sacramento County, the storm totals were very, very light. So for the official gauge in downtown Sacramento, only 0.2 of an inch of rain. But if you go just a little bit farther to the east, you go into the foothills, we've had more than an inch of rain. Stockton only had 3/100ths. Modesto had 15 cents. But if you go into Calaveras and Tuolumne County, a lot of areas here, half an inch to an inch, inch and a half even. So we did see some nice rain on the west slope, and this is good because here, all of the water that falls here can be captured into the reservoirs, except that falls into the Cosumnes. And then, of course, what we need is more snow. At this time of year, we need cold air to keep the snow we have in place, and we need more snow, and lucky for us, we're going to get it. So let's take a look at what's happening on the satellite this morning. As you can see, we do have clear skies over the state. Here's that motion I mentioned. We have a low spinning around to our east right here over Utah. Let me scoot that just a little bit farther over. So we have a low spinning around over here, and you notice the clouds I showed you on that Alert Wildfire camera dropping down from the north. So you can see the flow here, and that's how we're clearing out. And then you see this area out in here, and that's not going to do much for us today. However, we are going to see an interesting pattern develop as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. And right now we have this cold air in place, the warm air that we had around, all of that has been scoured out. And like I said, we have nothing in the way of warm weather coming our way. As I used to like to occasionally refer to something like this when I was doing my television days, I'd call this NEW, new. Not exactly warm. Yeah, it's going to be chilly. Temperatures cooler than average. So here's our 500 millibar chart, and here is this little ridging we're going to have for today and tomorrow. Then we get this little system that looks like it's splitting. So we have part of it to the north, part of it to the south, but it's the southern part that the models are now clinging onto that could bring us some nice little rain and Sierra snow as we head into the day on Wednesday. And with this sort of a pattern, this keeps cold air in place, which could drive the lowest snow levels we've seen so far this year. This is getting into the day Thursday, a nice cold trough, occasional precipitation going on. And then as we head into Friday, things dry out. And then we've been looking at something around the 10th, and there it is. That is still on schedule. So let's get into what all of that looks like in terms of the model. We'll start with the NAM, if my computer wants to. There we go. Frustrations. I digress. All right, so here's the NAM. Nice and dry today. As we go into the day tomorrow, still dry. There's a system out here that's going to kind of fall apart. We'll see likely more clouds. This is the one I showed you on the satellite. So this is tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Tomorrow will be a cloudier day, and there will be rain on the north coast. There will be some snow north of Shasta and up toward the Oregon state line into southern Oregon. But for those of you in Butte County and points south, well, I wouldn't rule out a sprinkle, but this one's just going to kind of get wiped out. This is tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday afternoon at 4 o'clock. All right, so then we get into Wednesday. Remember I showed you that system that is splitting, part of it to the north, part of it to the south. But with this low spinning around here, watch what happens with this area. It swings up from the south. Look at that. So this is Wednesday morning. This right here is Wednesday at 7 a.m. We have snow in the Sierra. We have rain in the valley. We're not talking about gully washing rain. We're not talking about enough rain to cause issues. But with cold air in place, this is Wednesday around midday, and especially as we head into Wednesday night, that's when we could see snow at 4,000. And Wednesday night, we could see snow perhaps down to 3,500, maybe even 3,200. For those of you in Camino, you might finally get some snow. We'll dial in the exact low snow level and amounts over the next day or so. Well, I'll hopefully have a better idea on it tomorrow. But this is, let's get into Thursday. That next little wave comes around to keep unsettled weather going in the valley. Like I said, we're not expecting big amounts of rain. Valley rain totals will likely be, less than an inch between Wednesday and Thursday. And the snow will be pretty good, probably in excess of a foot at the highest elevations. How much we may see down around 4,000 feet, it would be obviously less than that, but there will be likely shovelable snow in the Sierra on the west slope at 4,000 feet. This is as far as this model goes. This is at Thursday afternoon. So Wednesday and Thursday look like they're going to be chilly and occasionally wet. So let's take a look at our 5,000 foot temperatures. So let me back this back up. So this is today at 5,000 feet. Our temperatures are chilly, mid 30s, if you will. Last week, these temperatures were in the upper 50s to near 60. So that's why I say, even with bright sunshine today, we're not going to 70. If you got used to wearing shorts last week, oh, and by the way, in the comment section, I know some of you wear shorts year round. I'm not talking about you guys that wear shorts year round. I'm talking about the rest of us that are going to be wearing sweaters today. Anyway, as we head into the day on Tuesday, those temperatures warm up slightly. So instead of being in the mid-30s, we're in the upper 30s to around 40 at 5,000 feet. And by the way, I use 5,000 feet because this is a good indication of how the temperatures will change down at the surface. And at 5,000 feet from the model, you don't get the diurnal fluctuation that you get down on the valley floor. So this is a good, or near at the surface, I should say. So this is a good way to gauge just how the temperatures aloft really are changing. All right, now we get into Wednesday. This is Wednesday as the rain is going on. And look at these temperatures now at 5,000 feet. Down around 30, 34 degrees. And the cold air stays in place, especially Wednesday night. Now we're down to around 28. And that's why I think that Wednesday night, with whatever precipitation we're getting, that's when we could see snow down around 3,500, maybe 3,200 feet. And that cold air sticks around into the day on Thursday. It gets even colder with temperatures then around 27 or 28 degrees. And also you'll note that on the second line there, see the temperature says 27 height. 4,574 feet. So in other words, this is where the 850 millibar level is reached, is at 4,500 feet. But it also tells you that at 4,500 feet, you have a temperature of 27 degrees. So when I originally show you this, I say, oh, this is the temperatures of 5,000 feet. Well, that's kind of the estimate at your 850 millibar level. Let me back that up to when it's a little bit warmer here. So here, when the temperature is at 36 degrees, you'll notice the height then is 4,900 feet. So colder air means that the thicknesses are lower. So that means that when you have the temperature down around 27 degrees, you reach 850 millibars at 4,500 feet, 4,600 feet. Anyway, just a little bit of weather stuff there for you. But anyway, cold air. And another way to look at that is with this, the extracted data. Yes, you guys like the deep dive. I look at this every day. I look at this more than once a day because this comes out a couple of times a day, and this is from the NAM, and this is also for Auburn. And what we look at here is this goes from 0 hours out through 84 hours, even though you don't see 84 hours on there. So this goes in 6-hour increments out to 84 hours. And there are all sorts of parameters here on the far left-hand side. You have temperatures, you have wind, you have precipitation both in 6 hours and total accumulation. You have CAPE for instability, and then you have precipitable water, which I show you quite often. And then down here, this line we look at, the freezing height. Okay, so the freezing height over the next couple of days goes up to 6,000, and then it goes up to 7,800 feet. So in other words, this is where if you go vertically, you reach 32 degrees. But watch what happens into Wednesday. We see that freezing level drop from 7,000 feet down to 4,700 feet, and then it keeps dropping as we head into the day Thursday, all the way down to 2,731 feet. It depends on how much precipitation we still have left at that time to figure out just how much snow we may see at lower elevations. But again, I wouldn't rule out, at this point anyway, at least a couple of inches of snow at 3,500 feet. And again, a lot of you have not seen that yet so far this year. Total precip, again, isn't going to be great, but the Sierra will likely see a foot and a half of snow, and this would be powder. So for those of you that like to go skiing, Friday should be an amazing ski day because you'll have fresh powder. It'll still be cold, but yeah, fresh powder on Friday, and Friday's a dry day. But Wednesday and Thursday, it'll be snowing in the Sierra, and we will see some snow down to the lower elevations that we have not seen so far this year. All right, let's take a look at the GFS and see how this model is doing. I've been kind of stalling because I wanted to see the GFS come in a little bit later in time, and it now has. So this is the way GFS shows that system falling apart on Tuesday. This one holds on to the same thing on Wednesday, bringing up that precip from the south, the snow on the west slope, the cold air being reinforced on Thursday with another system diving our way. And then we clear out on Thursday night. So Friday will be a nice day. Saturday looks like a nice day. All right, let's get into Sunday. All right, here's that system on the 10th. So this is Monday. So right now this model keeps Sunday dry. This is Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And then comes some rain. This model not as impressive. I'm just looking at this for the first time because this model is just coming in. Yeah, that system on the 10th doesn't look very impressive anymore. I think the 6Z run looked a little bit better. Let's go back to that. Let's see how the 6Z run handled that. Yeah, the 6Z run just looks a little bit better, has a tighter low out here. But either way, that would be our next chance of rain would be Monday, Tuesday next week. And the other thing, I'm going to continue with the 6Z run here because this goes farther out in time, is that this model keeps the party going. So this is next Tuesday, Wednesday. Valley rain, Sierra snow, a break, and then other systems continuing to go by to our north and bring us occasional rain that will time out. But either way, it does look as though the next couple of weeks could be relatively active. Now, I don't see anything out there that, like I said, is going to bring us heavy rain, heavy snow, that sort of thing. But nice little systems that come by and bring us a half an inch of rain for the valley, a couple of inches of rain for the foothills, a foot of snow for the Sierra. So while you're looking at an active pattern, I don't see a pattern. I don't see anything out there right now that's going to bring us, 6 feet of snow in one dump in the Sierra. So it's nothing like that, but it's just these occasional systems that keep the party going as we get into the middle part of March, which is great because that's what we need at this time of year. Is we need the cold air and we need more snow to lock that snowpack in place so we can gently let that water start to get released as we get into the warmer months with that higher sun angle. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. I have no idea how long I've been talking. It's a relatively deep dive, but it is going to be a rather interesting week with the chance of some of that lower snow on Wednesday and into Thursday. So especially Wednesday night, Thursday. So as I say, let's say I'm ballparking 3,200 feet right now. We may lower that, may raise that. But let's say I'm talking about 3,200 feet. At that elevation, you'll likely have rain on Wednesday, so don't yell at me if it starts as rain. But then Wednesday night, as colder air comes in, that's when we could see that snow level drop. So you may wake up to some lower snow by Thursday morning. We'll see. I'll have a better idea on all of that tomorrow, as well as how much snow you may see at some of those lower elevations. But it would be inches, not feet. But the higher Sierra above 6,000 feet could see, foot and a half of powder, which would be great. So that's everything I've got for you on this Monday morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.